Hello! It's been a while since I last made a video. How are you? Are you guys doing good? Let me know in the comments. So in this video, I want to talk about sponsorships. Sponsorships and Veritasium to be specific. So there's a guy on YouTube, I don't know if you've heard of him, Tom Nicholas. He's a content creator here on YouTube and has a pretty big channel. Compared to me at least, okay. And he recently made a video on YouTube critiquing a video made by Veritasium called Veritasium, a story of YouTube propaganda. When I first saw that video recommended to me, I wasn't necessarily on anyone's side. Look, I have been watching Veritasium for years at this point. I think he's awesome and what he does on this channel is great. And when it comes to Tom, I like him as well. I have been watching his videos for a while and I think he is an intelligent human being. So when Tom made that video calling out Veritasium in particular, I was like, well, if Tom is talking about something, surely it must be an issue. Sure, it may involve one of the most unproblematic creators on the platform, but still, if he is talking about that creator, there must be something going on. So, I decided to watch that video and here I'm out. To be frank, after watching that video and seeing Veritasium's response, I was disappointed. Okay, so what was Tom's video all about? So Tom, in his video, talked about quite a big problem here on YouTube, which I never really thought of before. I'm gonna call this problem full integration of sponsorships. Since you are watching this video, you may have heard of this site called YouTube, where a lot of people post videos, and some of them can earn a decent income through these videos because of the advertising before their videos. However, that's not the only way to make money from YouTube videos. There's another way through which YouTubers can earn money, that is through paid sponsorships. So essentially, when a YouTuber decides to do a paid sponsorship, that YouTuber gets paid to talk about a particular service or product in front of their audience of hundreds of thousands of people. Usually, it's no big deal, and the audience, from what I've seen, most of the time is pretty supportive of the YouTuber taking sponsorships because that means that the YouTuber they love is getting paid. That's awesome, and I'm on the same page. Yeah, sure, it may be annoying, but really, how annoying is it? All you have to do is double tap on your phone. So most people are fine with these types of sponsorships. And these aren't the type of sponsorship Tom is critiquing. He's critiquing full integration sponsorship. That happens when YouTubers make entire videos about the sponsored product, service, or company in an overly positive manner, because they are sponsorships, but they disguise it as just a quote-unquote regular video talking about their opinions. That's what Veritasium did in his video about Waymo. The video Tom is critiquing is called Why You Should Want Driverless Cars Right Now. And that video is sponsored by Waymo, which according to Google is an American autonomous driving technology development company. What that means in layman's terms is they make driverless cars and provide taxi service in some restricted areas, and they are owned by Google. And by the way, he says that it's a sponsored video. I'm not saying that he doesn't say it. The problem with Veritasium's video, which I'm gonna get to, is that the entire video is about how driverless cars are amazing and, like the title says, why you should want driverless cars on the road right now. The problem with this video is that he is very careful as to what he puts and doesn't put in his video, which research he puts and doesn't put in his video. Like for instance, he uses research done by Waymo themselves to make point in favor of driverless cars. And the overall video is uncompromisingly positive, as Tom puts it. There are literally no negative sides mentioned. It doesn't feel like a balanced view of driverless cars. Now, to be clear, this is not the first time a YouTuber has done full integration sponsorships. We have had people, specifically in the beauty community, who were paid to make entire videos focused on the sponsored product. However, most of the criticism was levied at the beauty gurus who didn't disclose their sponsorships, which you can argue was reasonable, because in full integration sponsorships of beauty guru videos, where you know that they are being paid, you're more likely to say, hey, they have this opinion of this product because they are being paid and not because it's that magical. You could see as reasonable, but only in the case of beauty gurus. Because when it comes to reviewing beauty products, you can argue that it's not necessarily objective. It's very much subjective. The beauty influencer isn't lying or spreading misinformation. In their opinion, from their point of view, which is very much tainted because of the money they have received, that product might be amazing when they're talking about it on camera. They aren't lying. And you, as the viewer, can tell, hey, their opinion is biased, and that's okay. However, most people would agree that, there is a line. If the beauty guru or any YouTuber really starts to lie about the company, starts bending the facts, or they decide to regurgitate talking points of the company as if they are their honest opinion because of the sponsorship, most people would agree with that. And those influencers should be more careful with their platform. They shouldn't spread misinformation on their platform. And that's the line I think Veritasium had crossed. And it's not bad just because he crossed that line. But it's also bad because he is seen as an educational YouTube channel, and not just an educational YouTube channel. You could argue that the infographics show is an educational YouTube channel, but Veritasium has a lot more legitimacy. He's been here for a very long time. People trust him, and they're more likely take him more seriously. Certainly more seriously than the fucking infographics show. So, there are many points that Tom goes through in this video. I will not repeat them here. Please just check out that video. It is absolutely amazing, and being honest, it's actually educational. It is more educational than Veritasium's video. I'm afraid to say that, but God, that is true. That is true. Anywho, let me just go through some of the problems I see in Veritasium's video. Well, the first point I can think of off the top of my head is that he regurgitates some talking points in his video which were made by the Waymo employees. Okay, let me just give you guys a little bit of the background info. So Waymo didn't just sponsor Veritasium's video. This was a campaign. Waymo sponsored 3 or 4 different YouTube channels. One of them being Jason Silva. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's the guy who used to appear on the National Geographic channel. I think his show was called Brain Games, if I'm not mistaken. And he's not the only one. There are a couple of other YouTubers who've done the same thing. And in one of these videos, you can see that the YouTubers are getting briefed to a video call, which involves the Waymo employees talking about Waymo to the YouTubers. Another problem with Veritasium's video is that he actually uses research done by Waymo as actual credible sources. Again, you can't do that. It's kind of like, I don't want to compare it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Okay, don't take this analogy too far. You know what I mean. Using research done by Waymo as credible sources is like using research done by tobacco industry as credible research for cancer. Anywho, to be frank, there are no outright lies in Veritasium's video. What he actually does is he ignores all the negative aspects of the driverless cars and only presents the positive sides, which doesn't help the viewers, does it? It doesn't leave them with a well-rounded opinion about the positives as well as negatives of a driverless future. Like what are the challenges? What are some of the negative sides? He doesn't mention that Waymo is only operating in certain cities because they have to make entire fucking models of that city before the cars drive there. He doesn't mention that. You know who does? Tom. Tom mentions that. Which, by the way, is not a negative thing, Just the fact that this technology fucking exists is very impressive. You don't have to make the video overly positive. You don't have to make it seem like this technology is perfect. It's not. But this technology is still fucking impressive. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at the technology as it is, it's fucking impressive, dude. And when it comes to driverless cars, there's so many things that are really interesting and are good questions. Like, for instance, Veritasium in his overly positive video mentions that, Waymo is amazing, it's great, and it's awesome because the driverless cars have a cumulative experience of 20 million miles, which is impressive. However, what he doesn't mention, and what Tom does mention, is that these cars have been driving around in the same city, on the same roads for that 20 million miles. I don't remember the name of the place where Waymo's taxi service exists, but I remember the weather there is very consistent. So that means that even though these vehicles have a lot of experience, they don't have a lot of experience driving in different situations. So the question is, how do we provide Waymo and its cars experience? How do we do that? Well, you would have to deploy these vehicles on different roads in different cities so that they could get experience and they could run into edge cases which can be then solved by the engineers. Great. Awesome. However, here's the problem. If these vehicles are driving on different roads, well, that necessarily puts people at risk. How do you solve this problem? Because if the vehicles are not deployed in different situations, they're not going to get experience and we're not going to run into edge cases. So the technology won't get better. But for the technology to get better, these vehicles have to be deployed on different roads in different situations. So it's kind of like a circular problem. It's catch-22, right? So how do you solve that problem? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. The real answer might be, something really precise and detailed, made by smart people and engineers, assessing the different risk factors and stuff like that. But that's the ideal situation. In reality, we all know what's gonna fucking happen. Google is gonna give money to politicians, and those politicians would then sign bills. Yeah, I love reality. Yeah. So what was I talking about again? So what I'm saying is that Veritasium's video is not an unbiased opinion. It's simply not. It's an overly positive fluff piece. And being honest, his response doesn't make him look good either. I'm gonna put a couple of screenshots. You can read them if you want to. But the point I'm trying to make is that even if all these points that Veritasium has made against Tom and his video were true, which they are not, but even if they were true, that still wouldn't address the main issue. That is, he made a video which looked like an educational video about electric cars, but instead that video was a biased video. And his response, to put it mildly, he's acting like a massive anus. And I don't like that. I don't like that because he is one of the YouTubers I genuinely enjoy. One of the arguments I've heard in the comment section of Tom's video is that, hey, whatever he said, maybe it's his opinion. He genuinely thinks that electric cars have absolutely no drawbacks, and they should be deployed on roads in every single major city right now. So, ideally speaking, I want to get my info about driverless cars from somebody who can see the huge potential of it, as well as the devastating drawbacks. But that's ideally speaking, and of course we all know that I get most of my news from TikTok, so that's not a fucking point. Anywho, but even if you say that, that's his opinion, there are just two options here. Either A, he intentionally or unintentionally let money affect the content of his video about science, or B, he, how do I put this nicely, he let his enthusiasm for a driverless future affect the facts and the content of his videos. Either way, that doesn't make him look good as a science channel. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for him. I know what he's feeling. God knows how many mistakes I've made on this channel. And I know how I react to criticism. At first, I pretend that it doesn't fucking exist, And every single video about that particular topic, I intentionally avoid like the plague. And, then I get over it. And I watch like a couple of videos about it. And then I sort of think about it, but I don't really do anything. And then after like a couple of weeks, I'm like, hey, yeah, this person was right. I was a fucking dickhead. And then I remove the video in question after fucking weeks. This has happened to me multiple times, even though I'm a fucking small channel. Why? I don't know. Anywho, what I'm trying to say is that I get him. I understand where he's at. I understand that Veritasium must be feeling quite defensive when he made that comment under Tom's video. I get it. And being honest, I don't expect him to remove that video. I just hope that Tom's video has planted a seed in Veritasium's head and he thinks twice about making a full integration sponsorship video. In my opinion, the most positive thing that has came out of this whole debacle is seeing just how many science YouTubers have come out and said, hey, we don't like full integration videos, and we've seen that, it's a huge problem. I hate to say this, but some of my favorite channels like SciShow, made by, Vlogbrothers, who I've been watching for fucking years, have made full integration sponsorship videos. Also, another person in that list is Physics Girl. She was one of the first female science YouTubers on this platform who became really popular, and she also has made full integration sponsorship videos. And I absolutely hate it, because these people, Hank Queen, Veritasium, and Physics Girl, I absolutely love them. But they have made full integration sponsorship videos, and that sucks. But you know what doesn't suck? Seeing all the other science YouTubers come out and say, hey, we have seen this happen in our community, and this is fucked up, and I won't do it. That's heartwarming. And I don't think we should normalize full integration sponsorship videos because it could very much be used to spread misinformation and spread misinformation fast. Okay, so that's pretty much all that I have for this video. Like this video if you liked it. Comment your thoughts down below about what you think about this whole Veritasium sponsorship debacle. Actually, I have a question for you guys. This is something that I have been thinking about, and I don't know the answer to this question okay, I'll just talk about it. Okay. So, we talked about sponsored content where the YouTuber in question makes an entire video about that sponsored product or service. However, what about the sponsored segments? Well, you might be thinking, what about them? A lot of YouTubers make those sponsored segments where they say, hey, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hey, this video is sponsored by, I don't know, NordVPN or Surfshark. To be specific, Tom's video was sponsored by Surfshark. And the problem is, the talking points in those 20 or 30 seconds, the YouTuber in question is instructed to say specific lines, and those lines may or may not be true. So what about the sponsored segments? Like for instance, in Tom's video, which was sponsored by Surfshark, a lot of these VPN companies overstate the benefits of having a VPN. Some of the claims made by them are outright lies. So, I've said that full integration sponsorship is not okay. But what about the sponsored segments where you know that the YouTuber is saying things that were instructed by the sponsored company, but those points happen to be lies? Because Tom certainly falls in that category. A lot of the YouTubers fall in that category. So in a sense, that YouTuber during that sponsored segment is lying and spreading misinformation. So what about those segments? Because most people, there hasn't been much outrage. There hasn't been anything being said about it. So is that just okay? Is it okay because you can tell that, hey, whatever this YouTuber is saying, they're saying it because they have been instructed by this company. Is that what makes it okay? Is that what makes the lying okay? We as a society do act like it. I mean, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that that's a completely different example? Or do you think that no, it is related, but we have just kind of normalized it. So yeah, that's all that I have for this video. Like this video if you liked it. Comment your thoughts down below about what you think. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! I remember there was this one person who was the member of this channel. I don't know if they're still a member though. If they are, hey, thank you for supporting this YouTube channel even though I haven't uploaded anything for a month. Yeah, I didn't upload this month at all because I switched careers and it's sort of a headache for me right now. Anywho, that's all that I have for this video.